All right, back on the campaign. Shirley McCain campaign is up in arms, very troubled over a New York Times article about Cindy McCain. They say their article portrays the candidate's wife in a negative light. The McCain camp is also questioning some of the sources used for the piece, and they're calling out the columnist for fishing for information from a friend of the McCain's youngest daughter, a 16-year-old girl. Joining us now, Republican campaign manager Jay Townsend and former manager of the Michael Dukakis campaign, Susan Estrich. Jay and Susan, thank you very much. Listen, this article, let's get right to it. Here's a copy of it, right on the front page of today's New York Times. Behind McCain, Washington outsider wanting back in. And then it goes on to say that all kinds of different things that are not in a good light. What happened here to the idea that families were totally off limits throughout this campaign? Jay, let me begin with you, please.
Families are off limits unless they're Republican families. So you've seen, I look back at the archive of this particular reporter, Cantor, who wrote the story. The last 10 stories she's written, 6 of them were puff pieces about Barack or Michelle Obama. There were 3 hit pieces on Sarah Palin, and today's hit piece on Cindy McCain. I'm told there's another one coming tomorrow.
Susan, what do you say about this? I mean, you followed the campaign before. You handled the campaign of Michael Dukakis. Would you have ever imagined that someone would take this kind of a look at a candidate's wife or their family?
Yes, of course. They've been doing it for years. I mean, I have to be honest. I remember back in the day fighting rumors that Kitty Dukakis had burned flags that she'd never done, weren't true, and were sourced to the Republican National Committee. Maybe I read a different story than you guys, but I actually read the New York Times piece and didn't see much of anything in it that I hadn't read 20 times before. And to be honest, I thought the lawyer's letter complaining about the piece was actually more damaging than the piece itself.
You know, you mentioned the lawyer. Let me bring that up real quickly. Let's take a look at that. I think we have some aspect of that. And basically, the lawyer is giving a statement warning that no one should actually do this. Here's a statement right here from John Dowd, Cindy McCain's attorney. Says, I suggest to you that none of these subjects on either side are worthy of the energy and resources of the New York Times. They are cruel hit pieces designed to injure people that only the worst rag would investigate and publish. Jay, is this attorney right? Is he defending it, or should the New York Times have been allowed to do this kind of article?
Look, the New York Times is a privately owned newspaper, or a privately controlled newspaper. As far as I'm concerned, they're entitled to be a rag sheet if they want to. As Susan said, there was nothing in this article that was new, so why publish this stuff? Except to reiterate in their view that Cindy McCain is some dumb blonde bimbo and a liar and a former drug addict. I don't find that that's particular. I didn't even read the story. I'm so sick of this stuff in the Times, but until I came in today. But this is what you have to expect from the New York Daily Kos. And if you don't like it, don't read the paper.
And Susan, I understand why you said what you said, that you saw nothing really in there that was very troubling since so many people already know about it. But there are still a number of people in the electorate out there who do not know. And consider the fact that it's not very complimentary discussing how alienated she first felt upon marrying Senator McCain because of the Washington insiders knowing his first wife.
What's so terrible about that?
And the drug situation. Tell me why this would even be considered a story.
Well, it has one sentence about her prior drug use. It doesn't devote any time to that. I think the fact that she felt like a Washington outsider doesn't necessarily make her unappealing. I don't think of her as a blonde bimbo. I teach at the university she attended. I think she's a woman of great strength and determination, and I think that came through the piece as well. But look, these two women, Michelle Obama and Cindy McCain, one of them is going to be first lady, play on the national stage. You can't expect that people won't pay attention to them.
Let's point out the fact, though, that these are both very stunning women. They attract a crowd. Michelle basically takes her time to be with her children. Cindy McCain takes her time to be with her husband because their children are older. The bottom line here is that, as Barack Obama has said, that the candidates' wives are off limits, yet we find that some people in the media continue to pry into the lives, the private lives of the spouses. Is this right?
Well, I don't see where you get the idea that they've been off limits. I mean, I was looking at campaign ads earlier this year when the North Carolina Republican Party was running attack ads against Michelle Obama. I mean, that wasn't off limits. McCain didn't denounce them. I think
Susan, good point. But Jay, real quickly, let me give you the last word. Jay, she makes a very good point. When people were talking about Michelle Obama, no one from, as far as I recall, no one from the Republican circles was saying, hey, that's off limits.
The point was the New York Times. You expect attack ads, these groups pop up and they do this sort of thing. I do have a suggestion for the Times. If you want to dig into this stuff, Joe Biden has now funneled his sister and family members $2 million out of his campaign accounts over the last few years. Let's go take a look at that. Barack Obama has a brother down there in Kenya.
Jay, we're going to finger pointing again. I was just asking a question. The fact that when Michelle was attacked, no one from the other side spoke up, and now that we see that Cindy McCain's attacked,
the New York Times did not attack Michelle Obama. The New York Times slandered Cindy McCain today.
Susan?
The North Carolina Republican Party did. I mean, you know, if you want to run against the New York Times, you guys, good luck to you. I found out a long time ago that you can run against them, but they keep publishing every day, so it's not likely to be a very successful campaign.
You know what, guys? We could argue this back and forth. The point is that the candidates' wives should not even be mentioned in this kind of light, Michelle or Cindy. Thank you both for joining us this afternoon.
Sure.
Have a great day. Thanks.